we will get you there in this amount of time. And if we don't get you there, you don't pay us.
So, Hypergrowth26, what is it? And what are we doing here?
Hypergrowth26, it's a fun little project. So it's a project that's going to take place in 2026, start in 2026. It will end 156 weeks later. It will be designed to do a service that I don't believe is being provided anywhere else in the United States. And that's to take an existing franchise organization that is doing well, that has reached kind of like an impasse in their growth, and they would like to accelerate their growth or even explode their growth. And so in order to do that, Hypergrowth26 will find out who the client is, how they've got to where they are, where they would like to go. And if Hypergrowth26 sees that it's a fit, Hypergrowth26 will let them know, we will get you there in this amount of time. And if we don't get you there, you don't pay us. So it's guaranteed. In other words, we won't take a project on that we know that we cannot get the results that we're going to need.
So to summarize, we only work with franchisors, franchise businesses.
For Hypergrowth2026, correct.
And we are taking on one client?
One client.
And what's the 156 weeks?
156 weeks is the moment we engage with a client and we know exactly what they want to get done, we will let them know this is the number of franchises that we will have you at the end of 156 weeks.
And if franchisors or business owners who own a franchise companies, they're listening to us and they're thinking, oh, so what services do we offer?
When you talk about services that we offer, we're always going to make clear that every company, every service company has the 4 divisions: marketing, sales, administration, production. That's critical. It's critical that every business owner, regardless of how large the business is or how small it is, understands that every business has those 4 major parts: marketing, sales, administration, production. So when a company is growing and they reach an impasse, oftentimes the owner of the company will say, I believe if we had more leads, we could grow our business. Or if our sales department was able to successfully close the leads we're getting, because we're getting plenty of leads, but we're not converting those into customers. Or when we sell, we're getting the leads, we're closing those leads, but we're not doing it at the rate that's going to take us. So if a franchise might be averaging 1 a year, or rather 1 a month or 1 a quarter, they may be on a steady growth path of 4 franchises a year. Whereas if they were set up correctly, they could be at a growth of 40 franchises a year. Now, are there advantages to that? There's advantages to it. There's advantages to growing small, and there's advantages to expanding rapidly if you're able to and if it's targeted. And so that's one of the things that we'll add to the discussion is targeted growth. It's not just shotgun approach out across the United States. It's targeted inside of areas. If I had the opportunity to take a designated marketing area in the United States, which is abbreviated DMA, if I had the opportunity to take a designated market area and sell 6 franchises in it, or sell 1 franchise in 6 different DMAs, the choice that we would always take is the 6 inside of the single DMA. Why? Because now those 6 get to be united together, pooling their resources, especially their advertising fund. And let's just say that there is a franchise, a single franchise that has $1,000 a month that he's going to spend on advertising. Well, if that same franchise was pooled together inside of his DMA, his designated marketing area, any trucks that he has with decals on it or however we're going to decorate the cars, instead of having one of those cars driving around, there's 6 of them. Or instead of having 2 of them, there's 12 of them. Advertising now, that $1,000 that they would have had allocated to spend on marketing, if all 6 of them are pulling that $6,000 together inside of that area, then it creates what we call an LAF, or a local advertising fund. As a franchise starts to grow, then it turns into a NAF, which is a national advertising fund. So the whole idea is not just coming in and telling a franchise that we will grow, but we specifically tell them where we're going to grow it.
And when we engage that client, what do they expect?
Well, the number one thing is they're going to expect results, especially if they engage with the understanding that this is where we have to be. See, Hypergrowth26 has to be at wherever it's going to be because that's where we're getting paid. And there's no one that wants to work for 156 weeks and not get paid. So for us, the reason why we do that is control of the company is important for us. Behind the scenes control. So we're never interested in displacing people. Any existing employees that are there, fine. Any that are working part-time, they can stay part-time. If they're full-time, they're full-time. The president of the company still remains the president of the company. But the direction of what needs to take place in all 4 of those departments, that comes from us. And it has to come from us because some of the things are going to sound a little different. And in that difference, it must take place, because if it doesn't take place, then that's now hampering our ability to make it succeed. So it's a nice little win-win situation. Everyone, we're behind the scenes. Whoever's up front, the president, all of those people stay there. But behind the scenes, on a weekly basis, we are taking care of what needs to be done to meet our goals. So, for instance, if we engage a client for a 156-week agreement, and they're at 20 franchises right now, and they've been growing at a rate of 5 franchises a year, or whatever the case may be, it really doesn't matter, 10 franchises a year, 10 a month. If they would like to do it at an increased rate, we will determine what that rate will be. We will guarantee it. And if we don't grow, if we don't get that number, well, then we don't earn our profit. So it's a win-win situation.
Gotcha. I noticed you refer to 156 weeks and not 3 years, for instance. So,
yeah, because we don't do anything in 3 years. If 156 weeks adds up to be 3 years, so be it. If it adds up to be 36 months, so be it. We don't do anything in the monthly increments. I don't even pay. All employees are paid weekly. All bills are paid weekly. We stay focused. And the reason why is that when you understand that most successful construction is done on a weekly basis. If you're going to build a house or a building, a thing called a PERT CPM is created by an engineer. The CPM stands for critical path method. And a critical path method is saying that we're going to start building your house on March 1st, 2025, and you'll be able to move in on April 17th, 2026, or whatever the case may be. So the point is, that's how successful things are built, because what needs to take place during week number 1? Week number 1, we need to clear the land of all debris that's on it. Week number 2, we need to dig the trenches. Week number 3, we need to bring in the underground plumbing, and so on and so on and so on. So building a house or a building successfully is the exact same application that we use in building a business, is that there's steps that have to be done during the first week, the second week, and so on. Typically, when we engage a client for the first 13 weeks, we'll let them know there'll be no franchises sold. Sometimes that's going to extend further because there's the preparation work that has to be done.